afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the period of August the 2nd to August 8th. All right, let's get started and see what messages we have for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for this coming week. And if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to hit that like button and leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonated for you. Okay, Pisces, let's see what's going on for you this week. Okay. Ooh. All right here. Okay, Pisces, we've got the King of Cups in reverse on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so it looks like what's going on here for you, Pisces, is that, you're starting to realize what would really make you feel fulfilled. You're starting to come into the realization of what that is, but it hasn't completely formulated just yet. It's almost like some stuff has to go first. You have to adopt a new perspective first, okay? It looks like Pisces is very close here to achieving some emotional contentment, but that you need a shift in your perspective. You need to see things differently. You might need to release some self-limiting beliefs. You might need to release some doubt. You might need to release some attachments that you have to stuff in the physical world. It's interesting. There's definitely a shift that has to take place here before Pisces is going to step into this emotional content place. It looks like top of mind for Pisces right now is how to get this moving. There is an inspiration on your mind, but it's like sort of in a place right now where you need to develop more. You need to develop it more. You need time to think about this more. And there are some attachments that have to be released. It's going to be an interesting situation because right now it looks like you're feeling like you don't really want to make any sacrifices. And it looks like a sacrifice is going to be necessary. It looks like there are some shifts happening here. And I say that because I do see the Tower card here in the upcoming energy, as well as the Page of Cups, which can really signify a big new chapter for you, yeah? And when I see the Queen of Cups in reverse here for you as being what's sort of driving this shift, it seems like it's coming to you on an intuitive level. Like you're feeling the emotions of this before you see it. And it's interesting, the Queen of Cups is a Cancer energy. We don't see the Knight of Cups here, but we do see the Queen of Cups and the King of Cups on the bottom of the deck, also in reverse. So it's interesting to see these two together in this reading with a shift in perspective being necessary. There could be some emotional sacrifices that have to be made. It could be an emotional sacrifice. It could be something that you did not necessarily see as not balanced, right? It's interesting. It seems like the people around you right now, Pisces, feel like you are in balance. They feel like, hey, Pisces, everything is give and receive with Pisces. There's no, they're able to be abundant and generous. Generous, that's the word, that people around you see you as being generous, and yet you feel like you're sacrificing. So it's interesting that is a little bit different, which makes me think that there could be some relationship adjustments that you might make here, Pisces, and that, it's going to be an interesting road ahead because, my dear Pisces, you are not one to change your mind about things easily. It's almost like if you're going to change your mind about something, you need to have a change of heart first, right, Pisces? Like, in order for you to change your mind, you're going to have a change of heart. And I think that change of heart is going to be one that involves some sacrifice. Tower. And that's coming up. that's coming up. The energy that, was sort of present in the recent past for you was one where it felt like you were able to meet the challenges of your day-to-day, any obstacles, but that it just wasn't going as smoothly as it usually does. It's almost like you were starting to notice that the current path you're on it just wasn't flowing anymore. And so, you started to focus on this idea that you're developing in your mind about where to go next. And you realized in order to do that, you're going to have to sacrifice some things. There's a lot of things that are present in your life right now in the form of relationships and in the form of like material stuff that you might not be able to, or you think you might not be able to take with you on this next leg of your journey, right? It's an interesting situation, Pisces. I mean, I wonder if the transformation that you're sort of hoping for and a little bit intimidated by, maybe fearing a little bit, has to do with a new relationship. And it's suddenly occurring to you that maybe this person's been in front of you the whole time, Pisces. It's interesting. It makes me think that you're heading into a very new dimension here, but that there's going to be some sacrifices, and that, but it's all going to be for the best. Like, you don't see it, but it's almost like the people around you see that you're going to stay in balance with your resources and your ability to be generous, and the flow isn't going anywhere. But it's almost like you have to believe that first, Pisces. You're going to have to step into that new mindset first. And you may be noticing that right now, you might think that it has to involve a conflict. Like, in order to shift your mind about something, that there may need to be a conflict. And, conflict is part of life, and it usually leads to some sort of necessary separation. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it leads to more clarity. But I think in this case, it is going to lead to a sacrifice of some kind. And I keep saying the word sacrifice because you don't see it that way right now. Right now, you're seeing it as a loss, and you're saying, why is this happening to me? Why? Instead of realizing that we sort of put ourselves in these positions with, all of our choices, right? Like, and that's not to play the blame game here, Pisces. More than that, it's just to say that there is divine timing, there is cause and effect, and there is free will. So when you put all of those together, and you see this Tower card coming up for you with the Hanged Man in reverse, it sort of makes me feel like you're not accepting or allowing some of these shifts that need to happen so that you can start this new process. You've got the Page of Cups and the Ace of Swords and the Knight of Rods. So it's like you are starting something new. But every time we start something, sometimes sacrifice is involved, like not all, I was going to say most of the time, but that's not necessarily true. But it's almost like you have to shed something this time, Pisces. You're shedding your skin this time. Something has to be shed so that you can step into this. And it's going to involve, I feel, something in terms of your perspective about something, maybe a belief that you hold about yourself, or you're going to see a shift in some relationships. There's going to be a shift here, but there's something that you want to develop. It just needs more time. So don't rush things. Let yourself sit in this Hanged Man energy and just trust that it's moving towards something, and that you've done that before. You've created inner movement before, but it looks like things sort of were grinding to a halt in the recent past, so that your efforts weren't having the cause or the effect that they usually do. You were noticing like you were working hard at creating change in the same way that you usually do, but it just wasn't happening. And so it's like that sometimes can signal that it's time to make a shift, right? That it's just no longer serving you. Let's see what the Oracle deck says here. What is the final guidance here for Pisces? Make sure you check out the Instagram live Pisces messages for the week. It's a little bit more of a compact reading but they were a little bit long this week on Instagram. So you sort of almost get 2 readings this week that are just the same amount of depth almost. Okay, let's see here, Pisces. What is the Oracle deck? Ooh, that flew out right away. Solitude. Yeah, I think to make this sacrifice, this shift, you need to sort of be withdrawn from the external world. Okay, so I'll read the card to you. It says, once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. Interesting, Pisces. Yeah, this is about some relationships, and you've got to shift your mind about loss almost. Like, I think if some relationships aren't gonna head off into this next chapter with you, it's almost like you need to change how you see it, right? Like, it's your perspective that needs to shift. And so sometimes separation is necessary in order to start something new, like we were saying. And I like the way this is phrased, that the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. So yeah, Pisces, you don't need to chase anybody. Your ideals are going to be very strong by the end of this. It's almost like you're not going to let people take advantage of you. You're going to stand in your strength. You're going to have these ideals that are immovable. You're not going to be like, it's almost like the opinions of others and their perceptions of you aren't going to sway you. Maybe they are currently, and that's why you need some solitude to sort of understand this transformation that's happening, right? When I see the Page of Cups, I always think you're transforming on an emotional level, and then here I see a transformation on the mental level. So you're changing how you feel about stuff, and you're changing your almost like your mental reaction. You're changing your perspective and your emotional reaction. Your mental and your emotional reaction are changing, but that could require you to have some solitude. And let's not forget that the card at the center of this reading is the 9 of Cups, which is emotional satisfaction at its best. And it's sort of like, this is the thing to keep your eye on. And if there are some relationships that maybe don't get to be part of this journey right now, you just send those individuals or those experiences love and thank them. Lots of gratitude and love, because they were with you up until now. And it's okay. It's okay. It's funny, isn't it? Like, it's hard when we get attached to relationships, and we might feel the need to force and chase things, right? Like, because our human eyes just don't like to see people go. You know what I mean? We don't like to see people we love go. But it's the human experience. It's like, it teaches us that we have to have ownership over people, and they're ours forever. But that's not the case. That's not the case, Pisces. And I think you're starting to understand that. I think that's going to be this big truth bomb that you face here in the upcoming energy for you, is that you're going to start to understand that you don't have to chase anyone. No, you don't have to. And no one should chase you either. Like, it's not just one way. Like, you need to be free, and so does everyone else. And so if it's not the right time for people to connect, that's okay. Interesting reading, Pisces. Very, very interesting. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. If this reading has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Okay, sending you lots of love and light, my friends.